Hello, friends, and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another live session of our channel where we connect together in order to help you understand several concepts of testing. And as usual, this is a Saturday where we are connecting together for an hour's time to help you understand several concepts in order to assist you learn the concepts and meet the expectations, what you are trying to achieve with respect to testing, and also trying to elaborate and understand a lot many other things what you would be interested to know about testing, the testing tools, the test process, and in fact getting certified with help of ISTQB certifications. So this session is all about listening to your queries and trying to respond to them. So just feel free and drop me your question on the chat window. I'm here to talk about it and help you get necessary answers for your questions. So we are back again with a live session today as well, and looking forward to answering your questions, and would certainly like to address everyone's query before we sign off for the day today, and looking forward to respond to all of you by the the session, which is completely in order to answer your questions and help you understand. Okay, so I see there are a few people who will be joining in quickly, so we'll wait for some time. Meanwhile, yes, we have scheduled a training on 11th and 12th of September. So if in case you are one among them who's looking forward to have a full-time training to understand everything about ISTQB Foundation, we have organized a session, a public session on ISTQB Foundation on September 11th and 12th. So make sure that if in case you're interested to explore more about certifications, that is ISTQB Foundation syllabus, and preparing for your examination, this training is for you. Just feel free to enroll in the certification training program, and I'll be here to help you to learn the concepts and understand them at the best. So feel free, let me know if you have any queries. We are here for some time to help you understand the concepts and assist you with your queries in order to understand and learn the concepts, what you might be looking forward to understand. Meanwhile, let me just post the link for the queries, what you may have for the training session. So there is a post which we have on our YouTube channel community page. And if in case you have not seen, you can also fill up this form to be a part of this training. This is organized to be conducted on September 11th and 12th. And I think we will just be looking forward to your queries. There should be a few questions coming up for today as well. If there are no questions, we'll call off the session for today. We'll just wait for some time. Okay, I think we are now going to trigger a timeout of 5 minutes to see if there are nobody interested to ask any questions. We'll just call out this particular live session for today, and we'll see next weekend. But no problem, we can have 5 minutes to see if there are anyone looking forward to ask their questions, because this live session is all about answering your queries, helping you out, and assisting you in understand certain concepts. And if in case you don't have any queries, there are no questions for this weekend, then no problem at all. We will connect again next weekend. So we just don't want to create a session which is completely keeping me idle and there are no questions asked. So yeah, probably we'll look forward to that when people have questions. Okay, so I think we will be waiting for another few minutes. If there are no questions for today, we'll call off this live session, because if there are no questions coming up, that should be fine. But we just want to make sure that this live session is only to answer your questions. So there's no point just being idle here. So if there are no questions coming up for this weekend, we'll connect again next weekend. So we have 2 more minutes to go. If there are no questions, the trigger, we will just close the session for today. If in case you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Okay, we have got a question from Ritu. Hello, sir. Please explain me project and product risk. So Ritu, basically the project risks are associated with the process. That means any activity which you perform in order to meet the expectations. And it's more of like, any kind of, uncertainty which can happen in your process, for example, related to activities. If in case you are performing an activity, like, creating test cases, availability of the environment, availability of the requirements which you'll be referring to prepare the test cases, so any sort of activities which happen as a part of the process, and you have an identified risk associated with that, is what you call it as project risk, which is well before the release. But when it comes to product risk, this is related to characteristics of the product. For example, security parameters, performance parameters, usability parameters, in fact, the functionality as well. But from an end user perspective, it is not related to the process. Now your product is ready and product is into the market, and how your end users find your product is more important this time. So product risk will be having faults in the system or not meeting the expectations of the customer. That is where you call it as a product risk. Okay, and these are post-release failures of a, or they will impact the post-release failure of a product which is released into the market. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so anyone else having any questions, just feel free to drop them in the chat box. We are here to talk about your queries. This is completely a Q&A session and would like to answer your questions. Okay, there's another one coming from Arun. Hi Neeraj, what is your view on Tesla Musk robot? Will it replace human testing field? I'm not sure. As far as we talk about the manual testing concepts, humans are still the best, right, compared to a tool. And don't forget, when these type of tools are made, the manual testing is done in order to meet their expectations. So it's not just limited to talking about a robot or a kind of automation testing tool. It's not going to minimize the manual. Manual will always be there in its own place, because certain things which robots cannot do, for example, when it comes to capture, we don't want to do that, right? So captchas cannot be read by an automation tool. You have to do manually. There are different ways to handle it. But again, there are certain things which an observation, a perception, the reason why a tester is hired about will always exist. Even when it comes to automation testing, then you would need the manual interface to write the scripts. So no matter what sort of tool we are talking about, we are just going to be in place and testing will happen. So it's not, again, I'm not sure how exactly this Tesla Musk robot is going to function. So I will certainly explore back and tell you more about it, but I don't think so that would be going to making any difference in the testing world right now. Because a human is always responsible. A machine or an automation cannot take the responsibility of a failure. You can't both put the blame. You need humans to blame for any failure, right? That kind of change cannot happen. So human interference will always be there. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Anyone else looking for any more questions to ask? Feel free to drop that on the chat box. Feel free to let me know if you have any concerns, any queries, and I'm here to answer them. This session is all about answering your queries, answering your questions, so feel free to drop them in the chat box. I'll be more than happy to respond to them. Okay, so Arun says, thank you, Rishnosh. Rishnosh Vijani, can you help me with this question? Okay, please drop the question. Which of the following statements correctly describes the difference between testing and debugging? Okay, I get this question. So anyways, we're not looking for options for this. Let me tell you a clearly picture on what exactly the difference is. I have explained it very detailed in one of my tutorials in Foundation, what is testing and debugging. Testing deals only with finding the issues, and debugging deals with finding the issues, analyzing the issue, getting into the root cause, and resolving the issue. So, okay, you have dropped the options as well. But anyways, this is just for your understanding that testing is limited to finding the issues. We do not resolve the issue. We do not get into the root cause of it. We just have a failure, which we report to the developers. And developers will analyze the issue reported, get into the root cause of it, and then try to resolve the issue. So if you see in your option, caused by the defect eliminates the defect. So answer should be B. Yes, dynamic testing shows failures caused by defects. Debugging eliminates the defect. Testing identifies the source of defect. No. A is not absolutely correct, not at all, because we don't find the source of defect. That's a root cause analysis, and other options are also null and void. So B is the right answer. Dynamic testing shows failures caused by the defects, and debugging eliminates the defect. Sure, you're welcome. Yes, team, anyone else looking forward to have any more questions to be answered? Just do not hesitate, drop it here. And just to highlight once again that we are coming up with a public session on ISTQB Foundation on September 11 and 12. So here is the link. If in case any one of you or any of your colleague is interested to join in, fill in this form. And this form has all the details, what we need to capture. And it's absolutely free for reattempt candidates. You don't have to make any payments, any charges. But for others, it will be a minimal of INR 3,000 bucks to enroll for this training program. For everyone else, it will be completely, like the reattempt candidates, it will be completely free of cost. So feel free to let me know. Okay, fill up this form if you're interested to be a part of this training. And if in case you're planning to do a foundation course and get certified with it, I will be here to assist you through this particular training. So there's a link on the chat box. Feel free to open that and fill up the form so that I can reach out to you and help you enroll for the training program. Yes, team, anyone else has any other questions? We don't see a great crowd today. Probably people are busy enjoying their weekend. If in case anyone is interested, just feel free to drop their question. I'll be more than happy to respond to you. Yes, team, if you have a question, just feel free to type in and drop in the chat box. Okay, we have a question from Divyanshu. Why option C is not correct in above? Testing does not remove faults, but debugging remove defects that cause the fault. The reason is defect and fault are same. I hope you remember from the first tutorial of chapter 1. It's again, he's trying to refer unreliable source where the options are not mentioned appropriately. There's actually not such options which are supposed to be valid. So C is anyways invalid because defects that causes the fault. It's just that both are same as per ISTQB. As per ISTQB, defect is equal to bug is equal to fault. So that's null and void. So they are not even a valid option to be considered for decision. That's the reason I didn't opt for C. Ishora says, can I apply for technical test analyst exam if I don't have a programming skill? Yes, you can apply for it because it does not take you to a deeper dive. If you just have basic understanding of programming, probably like working with C, C++, that should be enough. So if you just know a basic of program, because they won't ask you a core technical programming instance of code. It will be more of like simple, which can be understood by anyone by reading a textual information. So there are no restrictions. And again, being a technical test analyst, I hope you should be having a good understanding of white box testing. So I don't think, again, that question has a conflict. So even if you're like a technical test analyst, you're talking about non-functional testing, and all the non-functional testing requires a technical guy. So if you can tell me more about your profile, I think it's conflicting. Are you looking for test analyst or technical test analyst? Because test analyst does not require you to know programming, but a technical test analyst works on the core technical parts of an application. So you should be knowing programming. But again, answer to your question is that it is not so deep dive into the examination. It's very simple examples given to you as a fragment of code. But the reason I asked you whether you are looking for test analyst or technical test analyst, because not everyone basically comes into picture from a point of getting certified on, because people a lot of time they think that, okay, I'm a technical guy and I'm looking for technical test analyst, but they don't realize that they are into functional testing or non-functional testing. So a technical test analyst is from the point of non-functional testing, and they will cover all the non-functional core technical parameters. So they should be well versed with the programming skill. Okay, we have another question coming in for Anish. Hi, sir. Good evening. My question is that why the Jira is mostly used than the other tools, and what are the benefits or advantages of Jira than other tools? Okay, I could have answered you this question on Monday or Friday as well, Anish. But anyways, thanks for joining in and asking your question. When it comes to Jira, Jira is a issue management tool or issue tracking tool, and they are again one of the options which are catering the agile methodology, and they have a lot of features which are exactly needing or meeting the needs of Jira agile methodology. So when it comes to Scrum, when it comes to Sprint, so you need several things as per the agile methodology itself. Talking about story estimation, talking about tracking the progress on the estimates, keeping a track of people working on it, collaborating within a small team, which is like a Scrum team, and lot many other things. So generally, there are not so many good tools which assist the agile methodology altogether. There are certainly a lot of test management tool or entire application management tool, but they certainly do not go with exactly meeting the needs of agile precisely. So Jira has great benefits in terms of behaving or working exactly as per the agile methodologies, or be it about Scrum, be it about Kanban, be it about Safe. You have great options in that, absolutely meeting the expectations of the agile needs. That's where the only promotion or only benefit which you have for the Jira is to cater the agile needs at any point of time. Okay. So I hope that caters your answers your question. If you have anything else, feel free to let me know. And we do have another one coming in from Tina. Says, "Hello, sir. Taking CTLM exam soon. Do you have any tips?" I think test manager is more of like understanding driven. So you don't really have to rely on the syllabus. Don't try to by heart anything. And it's more of a manager role. So I hope being a manager yourself, you would be knowing a good understanding of several contents. So make sure be decisive, like, decisive in the sense like, make your own decisions and try to come up with a conclusion in terms of like what should be done at that point of time. Because there are no right answers. There will be more of that, all the six options, all the five options would look correct. That's the most difficult part of writing test manager certification. Most of the options or all the options will look correct to you. It's more of like what should be done at this point of time as per the given scenario. So the better you understand the scenario, the right and appropriate will be your answer. So make sure that you pay attention to the scenario in detail, word by word. Do not try to eliminate or escape any words in the scenario and then try to come to the option. Try to evaluate your own answers first before you look into the options, right? Because that would be the best approach I can say to crack the test manager, because more than the options, it requires you to drive the answer. Assume that you're working in an organization and that scenario is given to you. That's where the give is. You are working as a test manager in such and such organization. So make sure that you take it on a real-time environment. Try to solve it as a test manager first, and then look at the option. Because if you look at the option and then try to get the answer, I'm sure that you will get confused. So don't try to take that chance. It might be very tricky and could be difficult. So pay attention to scenario, read word by word, try to come up with your own answer first, then look at the options. Okay, and be careful as most of the questions will have two or more options to be selected. Okay, two options or three options to be selected. So please be careful, because if you go wrong with one option also, your entire question is wrong. So a lot of people miss out to select multiple options. They sometimes just select two, but the question asks you to select three. So please be careful with that. That's where most of the people go wrong. Okay. So all I would say is all the best. Let me know when you're done with that, and we will be waiting for your result. Anish says, yes, sir, I got it. Thank you. You're welcome, Anish. Yes, team. Anyone else looking forward to have any questions being answered? Feel free to let me know. Okay, we have another question from Rashnos. Can you please explain about test charter? Certainly, when it comes to test charter, basically these are a document used in uh, exploratory testing, where exploratory testing is a technique of testing where generally things are more of like without test cases. So you or you just write some high level test cases which directs you that what will you be doing, and more of that you really try to minimize your documentation part. In fact, you don't have requirements where you can derive the test cases from, so you write one liners or high level test cases in order to cater the need of exploratory testing and complete that. Where exploratory more of is exploring the application rather than driving test cases on the application. Correct? So I would need at least some documentation for the purpose of investing the time on the system. Like when I invest 3 hours of time, 4 hours of time doing exploratory testing, and I don't have any single piece of paper justifying that, then it can be an audit issue. It can be a sign off issue from the customer as well. So this is where we make use of a test charter, which generally consists of some initial log. Okay, log means a lightweight document which has information like which part of the application you are testing, what is the high level test which you are conducting, for example, booking a flight, canceling a flight, withdrawing a money from ATM, or you will have information like start time, end time, which will be the time boxed limit, and what date, what observation you made, what were the objective of conducting this exploratory testing. So this short information will be collected together and put in a document called as test charter. So this is the only document which you create if your exploratory testing is testless, okay, test case less. That means you don't have any test cases, then at least you have test charter for exploratory sessions to be logged as official hours. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Okay, we have Nicolajus who says, where are you from? I'm from India. Yes, I'm looking forward to more questions from all of you. If you have got one, don't feel too hesitant and all to respond. Hooray! We got the great news of the day. I was waiting for you, Federico, to join in. And we really have a big surprise here. Federico says, hi Neeraj, I passed the foundation level exam with 77.5. I told you I'll be the most happiest person when I see that result. So I think you really made it, Federico. I think it's a really great achievement. I so much applaud for you, for sure, because you have been struggling a lot to reach out to this goal, and I really wanna give you that hearty congratulations on this achievement, and it's really great news to hear. Congratulations once again, Federico. I hope you have a great career ahead and great future ahead. So all the very best for that. Yes, Federico, thank you for sharing your feedback as well. I know the tutorials have been referred by you for a long time, and you have been preparing for this examination so seriously, and you have been in touch with me for several weeks to ask all your queries and get them resolved. In fact, you had difficulties joining in the examination as well, but finally you made it. I'm really so happy to know about it. So thank you so much for letting us know. And team, yes, these are some participants who again reach out to me for some special assistance, and I again don't have any criteria for any individual. It's not that it's just because it is Federico. It can be any one of you who think that I need some more assistance, I need a little bit of hand holding to bring me to that understanding, and I don't have any such constraints saying that okay, you should be paying me this much, or you should be doing a kind of heavy charges or something. No, just feel free to let me know what your queries are, and I'm anyways answering every question free of cost. So feel free to reach out to me. It's all about reaching out to me and getting your queries resolved, because it's more important to help anyone get that goal, which is probably for some of you could be a dream goal as well, and we just want to assist you as much as possible. That's the only thing which we have. Okay, we have Kruti Devi saying that, hi, Neeraj, share some tips for the foundation level exam. First of all, the tips will start with the chapter 4 and 5, which are the crucial chapters of your foundation level. And most importantly, you have the techniques. So make sure that you are 100% confident with the techniques logic. The chapter 5 is going to be very, very tricky in the examination because it has several topics where generally people forget few of the things and they go wrong. In fact, they don't go wrong, they don't know the answer. So make sure that you have a perfect grip on those 20 questions appearing from chapter 4 and chapter 5. 20 questions out of 40. Okay? And if you get them through, I don't think you will be having another 6 marks as a problem to pass the examination. But from the examination point of view, make sure that you read every single word carefully. The basic trick, the very common trick which the examination in foundation level is using the words not, most, best, false, true, these kind of things, okay? So the word not is quite often used in chapter 5. Make sure that you read the word not because generally people skip that word and come to a different derivation to the answer. So options are equally going to be very tricky as they are very straightforward questions. So feel free to read that carefully before you pick your answer. Okay, and make sure that when it comes to match the followings, you can again get stuck. So you try to start with the one which you are sure and 100% confident about, and try to eliminate the options and come with the 50-50 option, and then try to read the rest of the option. Okay. These are some of the common things which you can certainly make use of. In order to gain confidence, I would request you to take up the 3 mock papers available online. Meanwhile, my team is working on preparing the rest of the sample papers, and they should be publicly available very soon. So we are trying to come up with a lot of sample question papers for all of you to assist your preparation and help you understand the concepts, and with a valid justification. We are not going to be like any other unreliable sources who don't even take the responsibility of returning back to you when you have a query. So this is where I finally decided to work upon the sample questions, and we are going to give you a lot of mock papers to help you prepare well. But again, you have to give me some time because we are not creating stupid papers like others. We are trying to come up with justifications which I can stand for. And again, you have been looking at a great quality workforce so far. So we just don't want to, demoralize you or give you unexpected results. So of course, a quality product needs some time. Okay, so all the best, Kruti. If you still have anything, just feel free to let me know. Federico says, I want to start your mobile testing course. What do you think? Is it better to pursue a mobile testing or Agile testing certification? I think Agile is something which is trending, but again, it depends on your scope. If you have certain things related to mobile testing, then I would request you to go for mobile. But if in case you don't have anything in hand that you will be going into which industry, then I would request you to take up Agile first, because no matter which industry you go, most of the industry are using Agile as a methodology today. So if you know Agile, that will be added advantage and boosting up your profile ratio to compete in the gray market. Okay, so this is what my decisions are, Federico, for you. You can certainly look for that. Okay, don't forget to drop a thumbs up on this video, team. We want this initiative to reach to a number of people so that they can join in and ask their questions and get their queries resolved. Again, we don't find much people answering questions on testing in the world. And again, I'm really proud to say that I'm the best instructor as per Google on ISTQB tutorials. And it's all thanks to all of you when you are being a contributor, sharing the positive feedbacks about the tutorials. Google has ranked me on the best recommended material in the world. When I checked with at least like 50 to 60 countries where I have connects, they said, yes, when we search ISTQB Foundation tutorials, we just find your video on the top. So thank you so much for making it happen, team. And it gives me just an immense pleasure to add more value to your support and, just trying to be there with you all the time to make as much as possible. Yeah, there's a lot of things coming in. Isra says, thank you for your help. Kriti says, okay, thank you. Federico says, thank you. I'll look up to Agile then. Federico says, yes, you are the best instructor so far. Thank you so much for all these valuable comments, team. It means a lot to me when I'm trying to do something in a very, very dedicated manner without compromising on certain things just because YouTube will not charge you anything, right? It's just a free platform. Probably you get some ads. Of course, I just make some minimum revenue for my effort, but at least I'm not charging and compromising on the quality to any individual. Of course, people see that, when it comes to YouTube, as it is free, people don't put the detailed information on YouTube because they will not be making much of the revenue from there. But this is more about like doing a kind of, a social act and kind of voluntarily helping everyone with no compromise. Again, this live session does not pay me anything out. This is more of like, answering your queries so that I just get those best wishes in return, the, greetings on return, and definitely those smiling faces when you succeed after getting these assistance is more than enough for me. So this is where I think I feel really happy when people give those positive feedbacks and saying that yes, I was really happy to go through your tutorials and I could succeed. That's more than enough to meet my expectations. Also, Federico says, what would you think about the micro credentials for software testing? I'm not sure what exactly micro credentials deals with. If you can elaborate a bit, I think I can relate that. If not, probably certainly I'll look into that, Federico, and get back to you for sure. Okay, if you can elaborate that, should be fine. If not, I'll get back to you. I'll explore that because currently I'm not sure if I know anything about micro credentials. Okay, so you're relating to DevOps. Of course, having a knowledge of DevOps would be good, but again, being a testing guy, I don't think you have to do anything with DevOps because DevOps is more of like development and operations. For example, if you talk about continuous integrations and continuous deployment, this is what a DevOps guy is responsible for, deploying the components in different environments, making sure that the environment is stable and components are able to migrate. And you would need more of like, tools like Copado, Git, Bitbucket, and these kind of options to do the similar thing. So I don't think a testing profile guy really need to get into a professional DevOps kind of thing, but having an understanding of DevOps would be really interesting and adding more value. So you can just say that, yes, I'm aware of what exactly DevOps is all about, but not a full-fledged professional going to be for your future ahead. Okay, that's not going to help you. Either you can be a DevOps guy or you can be a software testing guy. Okay. But just having a basic information and outline would be really great. Yes, team, I think we started utilizing. Initially, we didn't have much questions, but now I think the team is aggressive to ask a lot of questions. We have 20 more minutes to go from our session. Feel free to let me know if you still have any questions before we finally close our day. Feel free to share your question, drop it on the chat box. And again, highlighting that we are coming up with a foundation level training public session on 11th and 12th of September. If in case you or any of your friends are interested to go for a live session with me on 11th and 12th of September, then there is a link in the chat box. Feel free to fill up that. I should be considering you or getting in touch with you to help you with the enrollment process. And the best thing, it is completely free for the reattempt or failed candidates. We are not going to charge them anything. It's just going to be a kind of participation. There will be a part of the training without any cost. So let your friends, let your colleagues know if in case they want to be a part of this training for the first attempt or reattempt. For reattempt, it's completely no cost, zero. They just have to send me their email which says they could not succeed the last time. And it should be good to allow them free of cost. Okay, Kruti says, can you please explain stub and driver? See, basically stub and drivers are dummies or mocks used in integration testing. Now, generally, when it comes to integration testing, the process is that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5-module process to be completed. Then probably sometime it happens that the module number 3 is still under development. And just because 3 is missing, I cannot continue the flow. So 1, 2, and I'm stuck. Though 4 and 5 are ready. So what developers do, as it's going to take some time, developers will create a mock module or a dummy, which is going to replace the real module and at least give you a button to move from 3 to 4. Okay, so 2 to 4, right? So this is where the dummies will be utilized. So we call them as stub and driver. Now, if you deep dive further in integration testing, we have two different approaches called as top-down approach and bottom-up approach. Top-down approach means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bottom-up approach means 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So stubs are used in a forward or top-down approach, and drivers are used in a backward approach, that is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is bottom-up. I hope that makes it clear to you. Esteem, feel free to drop another message, another question. If you have got one, I'm here to answer that and look forward to respond to you with as much detail as possible. And in case you don't have any questions, don't worry. You have another session happening every Saturday between 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So you can always collect your questions and be back to this session to get them clarified. Just feel free to let me know whenever you have a question. In case you have a question around the week, feel free to drop a comment on the any of the videos, and I should be there to assist you. So Rishna says, wish me luck too. I'm appearing for foundation exam next week. I searched for material. Your videos appeared on top. Once I started, I haven't looked for anything else. I'm from New Zealand. I think I don't have to speak for myself any longer when people are justifying that. So thank you so much for these detailed information sharing, Rishnos. And I certainly wish you all the best. Even if I don't say, my hearty wishes are with you for your examination, and certainly all the very best. I hope you succeed with your examination with flying colors. Okay? And we want to see you again next weekend stating that, yay, thank you, I succeeded with my exam. Okay, we would love to see that next time. And thank you for your valuable comments. All the very best once again. Divyanshu says component integration versus system integration. Please explain. Component integration is more of like integration or data flow between two or more components, where components are units or within a module. So for example, if you have a particular page and there are two different components, for example, the country drop-down list and the city and state, right? So country, state, and city. If I select a country, automatically the state list gets filtered according to the selection. If I select a state, the city list gets filtered according to the state selected. This is what you call it as component integration testing. Not only that, when you try to book a flight and you have selected fly from city as Delhi, then the fly to city will not allow you to select Delhi again. The reason is you cannot fly from Delhi to Delhi. Now, this is also a component integration, which is two components doing interaction, have interfaces between them and within the same module. When it comes to system integration, it's all about integration and communication once again, but it is between two different systems. So for an example, if I talk about Amazon connecting with Paytm to accept payments. Now, Paytm is a different application altogether. Amazon is a different application. Now, both of them to work together in order to shop on Amazon, but pay through Paytm is what you call it as system integration. And system integration is just not limited to software. It can be software and hardware. It can be hardware as well. Software, hardware, you have your automotives, you have elevators, where it is a combination of software and hardware. And hardware is more of like JCB, the earth movers. They are completely hardware, multiple components connected together, multiple systems connected together. Or look at any other earth movers, right? They're all hardware integration. And not only that, you talk about your amusement parks, roller coaster, they're all hardware combination, right? So two systems connected together to give you that thrill and have fun, right? So that's where the difference between this component integration and system integration happens. I hope that makes sense, Divyanshu. If you have any more questions, feel free to let me know. Federico says, I want to start your Agile course right now. Do you have any tips? No. Be blank, get started, and let your mind do the understanding. Okay? No tips. If you're getting started with the course, get started first, and then I'll be telling you more when you get started. Okay? No tips to get started with any course. You just have to get started. That's it. Okay, we have Fatima saying, please explain verification and validation in real world. Okay. When I do something, right? For example, I am an author of ISTQB Foundation book. So I have written a book myself. So when I was writing the draft, right, I was declared as a developer myself, correct? Because I was the one who was writing the book. Now, of course, I cannot find my own mistakes. So I asked somebody else to review my book before moving into that. Now, this is more of a review activity, which is basically done without publishing the book, without executing the book in real time, giving it to the real users. So I give it to professionals who are testing experts to go through my book in order to understand that do they find it easy to understand or learn, or is it as per the context. So this is what we call it as verification, where we generally try to make sure that whatever we have created, right, we are doing it correct or not. But when it comes to validation, it's more from the requirement of it. Like whether I really wanted to write a book or I have written an article or white paper on it, right? So let me take another example if in case you find it difficult because not everyone is an author. So when I want to create a simple program, okay, let me say that I have a customer XYZ and he or she says that I want a calculator which adds two numbers. Now, if I write a program, okay, if I write a program to multiply two number and it is working fine, we say that verification passed. What is verification? Have we built the software right? That means whatever we are making, is it correct or not? On the other hand, when it comes to validation, it's more of like, are we meeting the requirements also, right? Because it's just not about multiplying two number, but the customer asked me for addition, so validation failed, though verification passed. So verification means, have we built the software right or product right? And validation means, have we built the right software? Because not necessarily if your function is working appropriately, this is what customer wanted. I may have to send an email, but to whom? How? What would be the template? So there are requirements. So not only from the functionality point of view, you will look forward to have the requirement and behavior point of view as well. So verification is just to confirm if it is correct or not. Validation is about meeting the expectations. I hope that makes sense to you, Fatima. Just let me know if you need anything more on that. Okay, Krishna says, good evening. Good evening, Krishna. Planning to take test manager exam. Any tips, please? I read your tutorials once, took the practice test, got only 50%. Should I practice more? No. No need to practice any longer. All you need is sit back and relax in terms of understanding the concept. Okay? What I'm trying to say is, when you are getting 50% on a trial, then I think you are lacking the mindset of a test manager. So you need to elaborate more of like picking up a topic and try to explore that being a manager, what I'm expected to do at this point of time. When it comes to matrix, why should I select a matrix? What would a matrix do? Should I just select and forget it? Or should I keep on tracking on that? Like from time to time, keep an eye on it. What is the progress on it? What happens if a matrix reports me a flaw, a deviation from the plan, deviation from the expectations? Being a manager, what should I be doing then? So explore that hidden test manager under you, okay, within you. It's more important to be a test manager to pass this examination. It's not an academic exam where somebody will teach you, somebody will train you trigonometry in 11th standard and make you pass. Stupid. Okay? It's more of like behaving like a test manager. So you don't have to practice any papers. All you have to do is explore that hidden test manager mindset under you, that am I capable enough to make decisions? And that is what is going to help you to get the right answers. And once you think that, yes, I have actually expanded that mindset, then take up the same paper once again and get to that understanding. And again, forget that you answered it. Don't even try to recall the answers which you appeared for the last time, right? Try to see it as a completely new era, new thing, new paper, and just read the scenarios carefully and think like a manager. Come up with your own answers first, then pick up the right answer. Don't look at the options at all because you are done looking at the options, and that will not help you. So I want you to explore that, test manager skill set, explore that test manager mindset before you take up anything else. And that would certainly help you on your certification. Believe me or not, this is what I did. Okay. So all the very best, Krishna. We have Fatima saying thank you so much. Kanika saying hi, good evening. Very good evening, Kanika. Don't forget to drop a thumbs up, team, if you think I'm doing a pretty good job to help you out. I'll be more than happy to see that like at least so that the video reaches to hundreds of people who can come and ask their questions here. Okay, Kanika says, my question is, what is regression testing? Okay, so regression testing is basically to confirm if a modification has not impacted anything which was working fine earlier. I'll tell you a small story, Kanika, here, which will give you a clear picture of regression testing. And try answering on the other side yourself that whenever I ask you a question. Assume that one fine day you woke up to find that your cell phone is playing a song, but the sound is not coming. Okay? You are playing a song, but the sound is not coming. In fact, you woke up late because the alarm didn't ring. But you found that, yes, alarm rang, but the sound did not come. So you tried checking if your phone was on silent or vibration mode, tried checking some sound settings, and unfortunately, no outcome. Okay? So you tried all the Google possibilities, YouTube possibilities, and you realize that, okay, it's not a settings issue. I think something is wrong with the hardware. Done. Okay, just the sound issue. You went to the service center. Service center guy also tried doing the troubleshooting using the software options, but he said, I think speakers are gone or probably something wrong in the motherboard. Please come back tomorrow. Your phone should be fixed. Okay. Now, next day morning, this guy from the service center gives you a call. Hello, Kanika. Your phone is ready, and now you can play songs, and the audio is working fine. It was an issue in the motherboard. We replaced the component, and it works fine. Okay. You visited the service center. The first moment you saw your phone, what will you do? What will you do the first thing when you get your phone? You will play a song, right? I hope you answered the same. You will play the song, and that is what is called as confirmation testing or retesting, which is to confirm if the defect reported is resolved or not. If the song plays happily, like means you can hear the sound, you can play everything, will you keep the phone in your pocket? That's my second question. Just playing the song and keeping your phone happily? No. Right? Why? Because this guy opened your phone, interfered with your motherboard, possibly he would have hampered anything else. Right? So you will take a picture, you will make a call, you'll check your contacts, you'll check your gallery, right? This is what you call it as regression. Because as he interfered with your motherboard of the phone, he would have done something wrong. So he would have, while resolving the issue, one issue, he could have hampered another thing. So I want to make sure that what was working fine earlier is still working fine. And that's what you call it as regression. And it's not only in the case of defect, because defect is also done with a modification. Like the defect is resolved with a modification in order to fix an issue. So you either write a code, you delete a code, or you modify the existing code. So even not only in case of defect, when you have updates, when you have upgrades, when you have migration, regressions are conducted. I hope that gives you a clear picture right now. Correct? Okay, so I think that gives you a very good understanding of regression testing. Krishna says absolutely makes sense, and we'll work on that. Yes, please start exploring your test manager mindset, and you will be there. That's an excellent explanation. So this is what I'm good at. Anyways, if I get such things, I think I'm doing pretty good job. So thank you so much. Pat on the back. Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, T. We have another 5 minutes to go from our session, and I just want to make sure that if you have any more questions remaining for the day, feel free to let me know. Superb explanation. Yes, yes, I have a lot of explanations, a lot of examples. This is what being a professional instructor you do. If you don't have good examples to explain different audience, you are kind of not a professional instructor. You should have on the go fingertips several examples for several mindset. Not everyone is at the same understanding level. So we just understand the mindset and try to give them examples from their level of understanding. Again, if you ask me in a test manager session, I would not give this example. I'll give some high level and technical examples which adds value from a manager point of view. Correct? So yeah, this is what it is. So thank you so much. Kanika says just one more question. What's end-to-end testing? Okay. Again, listen carefully. There is two things. A lot of people combine them together, okay? System testing is different from end-to-end testing. System testing is limited to a particular system. Now, this system could be a part of a big system, and that's where end-to-end testing happens. For an example, I am, say, for example, hope that does not go into copyrights. Assume that I am a car company like BMW. Okay, so BMW does not make a car, they assemble a car. I repeat that they do not make a car, they assemble a car. They only have one thing which is created under the supervision of BMW is their engine. Okay, their engine. Where is the dashboard from? Another vendor. Where are the tires from? Michelin or Apollo or MRF, right? BMW does not create tires. Who create the body? Another vendor. Who creates the seats? Another vendor. Who creates the electrical circuit? Another company. Company like Bosch, company like Continental, they create the ECU and other things for the entire circuit, like which controls the entire sensors and remote locking and all sort of things, right? So what does BMW do? They just complete together. So what is system testing now? Let's come to each one of them. When somebody creates a ECU like Continental, they will be delivering this system to BMW, right? So they will do system testing. Again, somebody who's making air conditions for BMW will be doing system testing for air condition. Somebody who is working on lights for BMW, they will check all the lights in the circuit and then deliver the final end product to the BMW. Now, finally, BMW will assemble all the systems together and do end-to-end testing. End-to-end testing is only conducted when you have multiple systems connected together to call it as end product. Just like aircrafts, Boeing, Boeing does not create the entire aircraft. They get it done from several other vendors across the world. They just assemble and make the aircraft. And everyone is specialized in different things. You just collect together and make it. Now, this is what is called as your end-to-end testing, which is different from system testing. But what if your system, like Amazon, okay, is not going to be embedded with anything? Okay, it's just one system and not going to be connected to the. Then some people say system testing is equal to end-to-end testing as well. But practically speaking, end-to-end testing is only conducted when we have multiple systems connected together to call it as end product, which will go to the end user or market. But if a single system, I create a website, publish in the market, this is called as system testing or end-to-end testing still, but technically it is not wrong. Technically it is not right. You should only say it as we have done system testing. End-to-end testing is only for multiple systems integrated together to call it as end product. Okay, so I hope that makes sense and gives you the answer for your question. Kruti Devi says, do we need to remember testing protocols numbers like IEEE and no. These are only for your reference. If in case you want to explore more, you can go to these standards, but examination does not deal with any standards. Yes, team, before you leave for the day, do not forget to drop a thumbs up if you think I'm doing a pretty good job and helping you out to assist in your preparation. I just need that like in return. That should be enough because I want YouTube to promote this video and reach it to a number of people so that they can come and ask their questions here. Okay, not to get a branding. We are happy. You made me the world's best instructor with just 12,000 subscribers. I think people with 1 million also do not have that feeling. But just being 12,000 family, we have made it, to be a best instructor in the world for ISTQB. Thank you so much for that love and care, and looking forward to support you consistently in coming future as well. Okay, so I think you will have a lot of things coming up. We will have a great poll this time because I have got some other options for you for the upcoming series of tutorials. Make sure that you keep an eye on that. And Frederick says, thank you. Kanika says, thanks again. So when difference between system and integration? System and integration testing, of course. System is the entire product. And within that, when you talk about each module's integration, that is called as integration testing. Okay. So I hope you can look forward to that in the tutorials as well, because I've elaborated all these things in my tutorials. If in case you're referring the tutorials, I think you'll get the detailed understanding there as well. Anyways, by the way, I've just hit my clock. That's 1 hour completion. So I'll be off for the session now. So thank you so much team for joining in and asking your questions. We will be back again next Saturday between 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I hope I would see you again with your lovely questions coming up. And I would be more than happy to respond to you. Again, I would like to thank each and every individual who joined in the session and asked their questions, because this live session cannot be complete unless you come and ask your questions. So thank you so much for joining in, asking your questions, sharing your thoughts, sharing your results, and really happy to see all of you once again. So that's all from this particular live session team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for being a part of this live session team. Happy learning. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you, team. See you next weekend. Bye-bye.